Hey guys, I'm back finally to vlog again. So this video is gonna be TTC journal number 1 because we are trying to conceive. So this is gonna be the catch up for what's happened over the past year. So we're gonna start in fall 2015 because that is when my husband decided he wanted a better job, and so we figured best place to start would be in our own company, so he decided to try to level up in the company. Unfortunately, our company is headquartered out of state, so if he were to take a job, we would have to move. We would have to uproot, which is something I was not willing to do. I mean, I was, but I was not happy about it. So, thus began something that I call housing limbo, where it went up and down. It was a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. Were we gonna move? Were we not gonna move? I'd be okay with moving. Yeah, let's move. And then, no, I don't want to move. No, 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 no. And I was so annoyed. I wanted to decorate my house, and I couldn't because I didn't know if we were gonna be here or not. So ultimately, spoiler alert, we are staying here. So, anyway, TTC related with that was I figured it would probably be for the best for me to go on birth control because the chaos of moving, there's so much you gotta do, plus I was gonna have to find a pediatrician like immediately when we got there because Emerald was a baby, and I didn't want to add pregnancy and trying to find a midwife and a birthing center to the list of the huge list of things we had to do. So I reluctantly went on the mini pill when I was 3 months postpartum. I hated every second of it. I cried because I have historically been anti-birth control for me. I'm just like all worried about what it's going to do to my hormones and do to my body. So I was not happy about it, but I did it. I lasted 4 weeks. I lasted even less than I did after Molly. So I was on the mini pill for 4 weeks. I hated it. I could not remember to take it at the same time every day. And the mini pill is such that you have to take it at the exact same time every day, or it doesn't even work. So I was like, F this. So I went off of it. I did spot on it, and hi Molly. I did spot while I was on it, but whatever, not a big deal. So then, at 5 months postpartum, my period came back, just like it did with Molly, although it was really, really light, and the only reason I even remember it is because I wrote it down. Like, it was just such a non-event. Around that time, we were no longer threatened to move. By then, we were pretty sure we were staying put. So I didn't have to go on birth control at all, and Ben was actually supportive of me not being on birth control, which was kind of a surprise to me, because when I was trying to conceive Emerald, he was like, no, it's too early. So for some reason, around the time my period started, I just had this feeling like I really wanted to try the birth control patch. Pills I can't do. I suck at... I just can't. And we've already established that many times. So I decided to give the patch a try. Like, I really wanted to try. I was just curious to see if the patch would work for me. And so I waited till I was 6 months postpartum, because if you're breastfeeding, you have to wait 6 months so your supply is established, just in case the estrogen in it makes your supply go down. Because by then your kid's on solid, so it's not a big deal if it goes down, but thankfully it did not affect my supply at all. But I was like, my cycles are 2 months apart, so I should just wait until 7 months postpartum and just, try to conceive for that, 2 months-ish. And then I'll go on the patch. So I waited until I was 7 months postpartum. My period did not show up. I ended up not having a period at all. So I decided, I got sick of waiting. I took a million pregnancy tests because, pregnancy mind games. I'd convinced myself 100 times over I was pregnant. I wasn't. So finally, at almost 8 months postpartum, I called my doctor and I was like, look, I haven't had a period in 9 weeks. I'm not pregnant. I just took a test, blah, blah, blah. I want to go on the patch. And so they're like, okay. So I went on the patch. I ended up being on the birth control patch for 5 months, and I loved it. I was on Xulane. There's two. There's Xulane and there's Ortho Evra. I was on Xulane. Worked perfectly. The only issues I had with it were insurance issues. So the first cycle was fine. I bled super heavy because it was 14 weeks since my last period. I had problems with insurance. First I called they're out of stock, and then when I went to go pick it up, they still hadn't filled it because my insurance got mad about it. So I ended up starting my second cycle a day late, so I was like, oh, am I pregnant? No. No. It was fine. So I had to actually go through Optum RX, which is the online mail order pharmacy, which was actually fine with me because it meant I didn't have to wait in line and, you know, all this stuff. So they mailed me my prescription, and it was kind of awesome because they gave me a 90-day supply. And I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting one box. They gave me 3. So I was like, sweet, this is awesome. Of course, the first thing I did was did some math to see when I would run out of my birth control. And it turned out that I would rip my last patch off the day before Emerald's first birthday, which was perfect timing because I have this list. I love lists, right? So I made a list of things that I want to have happen before I try to conceive or am pregnant with my 3rd child. And one of them was I wanted Emerald to be 1. And I had that goal with Molly, but then I was like, scratch that, no, I want a kid, like, super fast. And I ended up getting pregnant at 10 months postpartum. So, whatever. And as soon as I realized that, like, I immediately got these, like, baby fever came back. I had these really good vibes about it. I was like, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. This is perfect. And I started getting baby fever again, like, for reals. And so I went through the last 3 cycles of that birth control. It went great. The only side effect that I had was nausea, but compared to morning sickness, it wasn't a big deal. It did kind of kill my appetite, which was good because it actually got me to lose the last 10 pounds of my baby weight. So that was awesome. I was like, sweet. And it forced me to eat healthy because when I was nauseous, the thought of like junk food and stuff made me feel sick. And so I would be forced to eat like not such processed food. And so I did start losing a little bit of weight. So that was awesome. So I'm back to my pre-pregnancy weight. In fact, I am below my pre-pregnancy weight. I'm so excited. I am 150. I haven't been 150 since like before I was married. So yay, that's awesome. I've been walking. I've been taking walks like a couple times a week. I was obsessing over the City Mini double, and I ended up with a City Micro double that I got off Craigslist, and it's given me so much incentive to take a walk, and I've been trying to take a walk like every other day or so, trying to get in shape, because when I was pregnant with Emerald, I was not in shape at all, and it was really hard on my body to be that big. If you remember, I couldn't bend over without passing out, or like blacking out, and I couldn't squat because my knees were too weak to then stand me back up, and it was just horrible. So I want to be like somewhat in shape this time, and I feel so much better. I'm sleeping so much better now that I'm walking. I'm not even running, I'm just walking. It's awesome. So anyway, I got off tangent there. The patch worked really well. It didn't leave any sort of like allergic marks on my skin. It was awesome. I can't even tell you how awesome it was to just slap it on my shoulder and go about my week without worrying about it. And then every Sunday before church, that's when I set my little alarm. I would rip off the patch and put a new one on the other side and do that. And then the week of my period, I took it off. My period would start about 2 days after I would take it off. And that's how it worked. And the only issue I had was the 4th cycle. My period, for some reason, started a week early, and I bled for like 2-ish weeks. And so that was kind of weird. I called my doctor to ask about it because I also had like a little bit of pain on my side, and I was like, is it a cyst? And she's like, no, it's not. It's normal to bleed like that the first 6 months that you're on it. And I was like, okay, and it ended up being just fine. So no problems there. So I ripped off the last patch on June 12th, and I should start my period if I was a normal person. I'd start my period in 3 days. I'm not counting on that anyway because my cycle regularly is like a 56+ day cycle. So I'm not expecting it to come. If it does, that would be great, but if it doesn't, I'm not going to be surprised by any means. I must say, having my period once a month was so bizarre. That's never happened to me, right? And so, like, I was just, like, floored at how fast I went through sanitary supplies. Because normally my period's every 2.5 months, and so having a period every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks was just so weird. Yeah, so I guess we're caught up now. So we are staying here. My husband is applying for jobs here. He has decided after going to a year of college that he wants to do networking as opposed to IT, so he's finding networking jobs and he's doing awesome. So I tried to start a blog because I was like, I don't want to vlog, and then I was like, no, I want to vlog. So I will be back. I will be vlogging. I got a new camera. I have a new iPhone 6S finally, after 4 years, I got a new phone, so I can actually record video without worrying about running out of space, because I had an 8 gig before, and this is a 64 gig. It's like 4 times as big. So I will be able to make videos and edit them. My program works again. I'm so excited. So I guess that's everything. We are now caught up to a year later. So I will see you guys for my next video. Bye!